Welcome back to Edgework here on the Hammer Betting Network, a daily live NHL show Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Today is Thursday, March 16th. Russ, so money, I don't know about you guys, but the longer this goes on, the bigger of a gripe that I'm starting to build up against the NHL schedulers. I mean, going 3 games, 12 games, 3 games, 11 games. Balance it out a little bit more. I understand how for some people it might be easier, but for me, switching back and forth like this every day, it's starting to drive me insane here as we go along. But it is what it is. We got plenty of games here tonight. We'll go through all of them, but so money, Russ. March Madness starting up today. Is that on top of your mind? Is the NHL forefront? Like, how does this work? You got the first day, plenty of games today. How does your schedule kind of surround March Madness starting on this Thursday?
The NHL is always number one, but getting in front of the college moves is up there as well. But and NHL is always number one, no matter what's going on.
Yep, same. I mean, this time of year, I'm not a huge college basketball bettor, but I will fill out a couple brackets and I'll follow some of So Money's moves and shit like that this time of year. But no, definitely. I mean, playoffs are in 15 games or so, a month until the NHL playoffs. So that's number one for sure right now.
Yeah, it is getting exciting following the NHL playoff race as it gets closer and closer. I mean, at this point, it starts to feel like it's probably more the East that's in any of a race to get into those wild card spots than it is anything else. But nonetheless, still makes it exciting. And those teams that are in the top tier in terms of being more so solidified into playoff positions, even them, it feels like they're playing playoff hockey on a nightly basis now as they get ready to get into the playoffs. So let's start with the games here tonight. We'll go through them all. If you guys have questions in the chat, please make sure to ask them. We'll try to get through them. If you have best bets that you like and you're wondering what we think about them, make sure to fire them away in there, and we'll try to get through them as well. But starting with Montreal, Florida, So Money, you're taking a look at not a side in this one. You're looking at a total, and you're looking at a team in the Florida Panthers at home tonight who are trying to push themselves into a playoff spot. They're 5 points out, just behind Pittsburgh and the Islanders right now. But you're looking at the total. Why is that, and which side are you looking at?
So I am looking at the over now. Everything does come down to the price. We're seeing a plus money 7. Couple of angles here. So Bobrovsky has had a heavy workload recently here, and I am starting to see some fatigue in his game. So we could have some upside here, especially if they decide that they want to give Bobrovsky a day off. Even though Alex Lyon, he's been serviceable, he's still enough of a downgrade on Bobrovsky to create the edge there. The other thing too is that I would need to confirm that Jake Allen gets to start. If he does, then I will be looking at the over 7 at plus money. But I do need Allen. Florida goalie doesn't matter at this moment, and then that'll put me on the over 7 if I can get plus money.
Okay, so we'll hang on to that one. But if that does come up, if we do see goalie announcements, you know what'll happen. So Money, we've got that whole animation built out ready to go for you. So we'll stay tuned on that, looking at an over. But Russ, do you have any thoughts on that Montreal-Florida game?
Nope. It seems like, we're going to start off the first game in agreement here. I'm always down for Panthers games over, especially at home. They're still their first in expected goal share the last 10 games. Montreal's defense has been struggling lately. So, I completely agree with So Money here. Let's hope for Allen and hope to get this one locked in.
All right. Now, moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning, New Jersey Devils game tonight. This is a closer one in terms of odds that we're looking at. New Jersey right now is holding on to second in the Metro. They're 2 points back of Carolina. They've got one more game played than them. And they're 8 points up on the Rangers. They've made themselves a nice little gap over the New York Rangers over the last few games. 7-2-1 in their last 10. They're coming off a loss in this one, but they're a good home team, 19-13 5-2 at home, pretty decent at home, whereas Tampa Bay is on a little bit of a skid over the last stretch. 3-5-2 in their last 10, and they just haven't really looked like Tampa Bay in the last little while. Now they are third in the Atlantic, and they're only 3 points back of Toronto to this point, but they do have one more game played. Russ, so Money, you guys are looking at the same side in this one. Russ, I'll let you take it away first. Which side would you be looking to back between Tampa and New Jersey tonight?
Yeah, it seems like, we broke this game down last week, or we've been breaking down this Devils team a lot. But yeah, I'm looking at playing the New Jersey Devils at home here. Anything close to minus 125 is what I'm trying to target. I think that 128 is probably fine to lock in right now. We've been over this a few different times, but yeah, just to hash, how they've been playing. We talked about the Lightning a bunch, and sort of my sentiment, or our sentiment the last few weeks, has been don't panic. They do this often. But I think that's kind of changing a little bit recently. This team has really been struggling, and Andrei Vasilevsky has been struggling as well. Traditionally, Tampa Bay's pretty good at generating shots. They're fifth in expected goals for on the season, but if you look at their last 10 games, that drops all the way down to 15th in expected goals for. And on the flip side, we know how good this Devils team is. They're just amazing. They played a great game last game and didn't get the win, but, they're still second in expected goals and first in expected goals against in their last 10 games. So this team is, is just still playing very well. And it looks like Steven Stamkos is out for Tampa Bay. Other than that, I'm still kind of getting a few lineup notifications coming in right now. But yeah, a couple of injuries on the Lightning, short price here on the Devils, who've been playing very well at home. Tampa Bay probably has a little bit of an edge in goalie, but still, I think that should probably be closer to minus 140 or minus 145. So yeah, we locked in right around minus 125. I think that's a fine play on the Devils at home.
Okay, so we do track that here on the Edgework BetStamp account. If you want to see all the historicals of the Edgework BetStamp, make sure to go download the BetStamp app, iOS, Android. You can also find it on web. And you can find us in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. The plays will be locked until game time, but then after that, you can see everything that we've bet on, how we've done throughout the course of the season, what our picks have been. And yesterday, we had a nice 3-in-1 night on 4 different bets, so had a pretty solid night. We'll look to continue keep that here today. And of course, if you want to know what all the picks were during the show, you can tune in during the show, and we will recap them at the very end before we sign off. So Money, you were looking at the same side as Russ in this one. Is very much in line with where Russ is at there?
Yeah, totally. The Devils did close in the low minus 140s when they played the last game, and even though the final score was 4-1 Tampa, there wasn't much in that game for me that I saw that warrants this game-to-game adjustment right now. Now, a couple of things. There is a chance that the Devils go with Schmid. We talked about this last week, where he's actually in good form right now, and so I don't downgrade him as much as the market will. So I do like the Devils right now with Vanacek. I think that we're good to lock it in, but keep in mind that if Schmid does get confirmed, the market will go against him, and that's and we don't need to panic about that because we'll get a better price on the Devils on a goalie that I think that the market overreacts to. There's no morning skate for the Devils, so Ruff has a media availability at 5 Eastern. That's when we'll find out about the Devils goalie. Also, a note on the total side here. They did play a high event game that stayed under, but I think the market has bet this appropriately into place. So, so at a juiced 6.5, there's nothing there for me. I do see some flat 6.5s, which is intriguing as well. But again, wait for Schmid if that total does get bet up. I think we'll lay off, but I think I'm good with the Devils right now.
All right, there you go. Now, moving on, we got another game here tonight between a team who is in a playoff position and who has actually been playing pretty well lately, trying to push themselves up higher and higher into the Central Division. That would be the Colorado Avalanche going into Ottawa. Colorado coming in on the second night of a back-to-back. Now Ottawa sitting there in Ottawa waiting for Colorado to get there, and they are trying to push for a playoff spot right now. It's getting more and more bleak as it goes on. Coming into this one with a 3-game losing streak. They are 6-4 in their last 10 though. Tonight's going to be an opportunity for them where you're going to go up against a strong playoff team. You're looking to get some points on the board, try to propel yourself higher into the standings to actually make it feasible to make the playoffs. But so many, you're not necessarily interested in a side in this one. You're more so looking back to another total between Colorado and Ottawa.
So we need the breaking news here.
Okay,
because
I got you.
Love it. Awesome. So the breaking news here is that I'm very excited to announce that we are officially on Jonas Johansson watch. Now, what this means is that if he does get the start, we should have some fun with this game. So over 6.5. Let's play some alt overs. Let's just have some
10
fun. 10.5, 20, whatever it is. But we do need confirmation that Jonas Johansson is in. Now the great thing about this game is that I do like the over as it is, even if we do get Sogard against Georgiev, with the way that Ottawa is capable of getting themselves into high event games. And I do have concerns about Sogard's workload right now. But if we do get Johansson confirmed, let's just have some fun and fire away. So yeah, let's get that confirmation. I see 6.5. It's juiced right now, but I mean, play the plus money 7 then. So I think that that would be the way to go if we get Johansson in net. I'm on it. I'm monitoring it. We could get it at the end of our show, but more likely it's going to be probably around 11:30, 12 o'clock Eastern time.
So would you play this one over 6.5 minus 122 right now anyways, or would you just want to wait it out and find out? Are you willing to play this one?
I would play it right now anyways, and then of course Johansson gives us a tremendous upside on our wager anyways. So I would play it right now at the 6.5, and then when hopefully when Johansson is confirmed, it's just the market's gonna blow up.
Right, so you're going over 6.5 now, and then when he goes confirmed, you're going 7, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. You're just pushing it all the way up.
Yeah. Up to 20.5.
And and Russ, are you on the same page? You're on Jonas Johansson watch. You're gonna hammer this one all the way up as well.
Yeah, this will probably be a little bit smaller play for me, but yeah, this is the third game. It looks like we are in agreement on. This Colorado team has kind of flipped the script the last few games. They started as kind of a defensive team, and then all of a sudden they're just scoring at will. 37 goals in their last 10 games, and Ottawa has 38 goals in their last 10 games. The goalie question marks. Yeah, there's no way I would be playing an under here. I think that over 6.5 and minus 125 is a great look. So yep, I'll probably be joining you guys here, and no argument for me.
All right, we'll lock that in here on the BetSamp account again. Another matchup here between two Metro Division teams. As I mentioned, the Rangers are sitting in a spot where they are sitting well back of New Jersey at this point, as New Jersey's created a gap up on them. 6 points back in New Jersey, 10 points back of Carolina. But you look at the flip side, the team that they're playing tonight, they are 8 points up on them. And you're in a position here where Pittsburgh, they're trying to open up a little bit of a gap on the Islanders. They've just now tied them up in points. They've got games in hand on the Islanders coming into this one. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. And so money, today is your day. You're going back to the overs again here.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening. So the Penguins, they're a very frustrating team for me personally, because I come in high on them quite a bit. And then we see their goaltending, and they just don't get consistent goaltending right now. So we've gone back and forth with their goaltenders, and right now Casey DeSmith is in better form. I do suspect he'll get the start for the Rangers. We've talked about Shesterkin all season. He's just not the same as he was last year. These teams did play a high event game on the weekend. that stayed under a juice 6.5. We're seeing a flat 6.5 now. So, and even though we might get DeSmith, I'm not prepared to make that adjustment on the total. So I think that a flat 6.5 on the over would be the way I'm going here.
All right.
Yep.
Russ, agreement again?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Surprisingly, I am. I woke up and I was thinking that Pitt would be in a nice spot here. Rangers team that I'm fairly down on, and the Pittsburgh team that I think is a lot better than their record shows, and actually have been playing really well the last 10 games or so. But it does look like Pittsburgh's going to have a couple injuries on their defense. It looks like Jan Ruda and Petrie are supposed to be out. Now, individually, I don't think those guys move the needle too much, but when you have 2 or 3 of your starting defensemen out who have been playing the last, pretty much to the last half of the season, I think that changes things a lot. And so I've been kind of adjusting the lineups in my model all morning. I do have a little bit of an edge on Pittsburgh, but yeah, I think that the over is a little bit better way to go, especially with them missing these defensemen that they've been struggling all year. I honestly think, that wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh gives up a 5 spot here, and they're right there with them at 5-4 or something like that. So I'm not positive that I will be on it for my personal plays. This might be a smaller spot. If we do get, it looks like we're going to get. If we do get Jari, I'll probably join you, and I probably will submit that. But I have no issue putting it in, especially at over 6.5 minus 105. I think that's a good angle to go.
All right, Russ, I'm going right back to you here. I'm not even going to necessarily tee this one up. We're going all overs today. It seems like that's the theme of the show. You're looking at another over, Boston, Winnipeg. Let's talk about that one.
Yep. This is a pretty simple play for me. I think that this number should probably be at 6.5. Earlier on in the season, Hellebuck was playing very well at home, and they've just been struggling lately. And this Boston team is sort of interesting. Their defense has really dipped in the last 10 games. They're third in expected goals against throughout the year. But if you look at just their last 10 games, they're 21st in expected goals against. So it just seems like they're just giving up a lot of unnecessary shots. They do have one of the best netminders, in goal with Olmark. But, it's a very simple play. I think this should be 6.5. I think we could easily see a 3-3 game here. I think we could easily see Boston get to 4. So the worst you could do is maybe a push here. But yeah, this is a simple play on the over here, and I love it, man. This is basically the day of the overs. This is right up my alley. So yeah, I'm comfortable minus 109. I think that's a great play.
So we're just gonna be cheering for college basketball and tons of goals tonight. We got to take like the grand salami. That's what we're gonna be looking at tonight.
That's not a bad idea at all. It sounds like it's gonna be a great night.
So, Money, are you in agreement on this one here as well?
For the most part, yeah. But here's a hot take. The Bruins peaked too early, and it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
No, I'm just salty about my Lindy Ruff Jack Adams bet. I thought that was a great bet, and like it's getting derailed by a historic season here.
I saw that. Yeah, those numbers are getting out of hand on the Jack Adams. Like Montgomery's a huge favorite. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just pissed about that. I really do want to bet the Jets going forward. I think the market undervalues them, but they're prone. They're as Russ mentioned, they're really prone these days to have leaky defensive games at any time. And the Bruins aren't the right opponent to like mess around with that kind of stuff. Even with Hellebuck there to bail them out a lot of times. I do like what Russ was saying. Trying to get ahead of the goalies here. Allmark, I don't know. Maybe he's we see some regression here from him. I'm not sure if Swayman gets to start, so that's something to watch out for. But I do agree with Russ. I'm not going to be on it personally, but I do like that play, and that's something that if I were to play a total, that's the only way I would go. And I mean, if you ask me, like, if this was like 5 years ago and I'm sitting here with like a bunch of over 6.5s and 6 and stuff like that, I would think you're crazy. But
it's different, different sport.
This is the new NHL now.
That's right.
Well, So money, you can keep pushing that narrative about Boston. They're falling off now. They peaked at the wrong time. They peaked too early. I'm just sitting here as a Toronto fan waiting for the Boston media to start Toronto mediating their team, but it doesn't seem that they're going to do that. It doesn't feel like they're going to get there. So I just keep waiting, but doesn't happen. But they did lose the other night to the Chicago Blackhawks, and one of the things that we've talked about on this show is looking out for those big plus money prices, especially as you get down the stretch. And you could get yourself into a position where you could just start being able to pick off some of those. And we have another one here tonight with Chicago facing off against Nashville. Now, Russ, I'm curious your thoughts on this one. You're looking at plus 227 on Chicago. They are on the road facing off against Nashville. Nashville is in a spot where they could potentially make the playoffs here, but even in spite of that, this team has lost a bunch of players that they traded away at the deadline, bleeding out from that aspect. And then Chicago did beat a playoff team and the best team in the NHL in the Bruins the other night. So playoff team or not, it doesn't really seem to matter. Would you say that maybe we're in a position here down the stretch where plus 227 on Chicago is just too long of a price? Or how would you kind of view this one?
I do know certain people, certain modelers that would actually love to play this, but I am not. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those guys. Like I talked about a few weeks ago, I can't believe Chicago's actually winning. Some of these guys that they're starting in their lineup, are rookies, are up from the AHL. They're just trying to get them some playing time. And I have no data on them. I don't even recognize their names when I put them in the lineup. I can't even really get a fair line. So then on the flip side, this Nashville team has been playing really, really well recently. Yeah. It's like they almost didn't get the memo that, they were supposed to tank and that they're supposed to improve their draft pick after Poile, the whole thing with Poile and them bringing in the new GM. It's like they've been playing very, very well recently, and they're Jose Soros is playing back to form, and their defense is playing very well. So I don't know if this Nashville team has has a fire lit under them and thinks like they might be able to sneak into the playoffs, but it kind of seems like they're playing with a little bit something extra here. And then just looking at my pure numbers, like my pure modeling, like I said, with all those no-name players in for Chicago, I make this right around Nashville minus 273. So there's really there's no value here for me. I basically ride on market. You could maybe make a case for the over just because that's the way the day has been going, and that's where my mind immediately goes. But no, I'll have no play. I'll have no play on this game. I've got right at 6, and I've got minus 273. So I'm right on market for this game.
All right.
Yeah, I've got no interest here, but I mean, if I wouldn't fault anybody for playing for playing Chicago, for playing the puck line on Chicago -1 and the alt puck line either. I hope Chicago wins by 10. There's no I look at this Nashville team and it just drives me crazy. So
same. Yeah. No, I agree completely. Yeah, I mean, if you would have played the Chicago regulation line against Bruins, that would have been like plus 500 or plus 550 probably. So I hit a couple of those in the season, and you're doing very well.
Yeah, that -1.5 Chicago against Boston would have been an interesting number to take a look at as well in that last game. But so money, I'm going to go to you on this game. You're looking at the Dallas Stars rolling into Edmonton, and as we know, we are all Oilers at this point in the season. And are you looking to support your Oilers here tonight? You're looking at them -134 at home against Dallas. They are currently sitting in the third spot in the Pacific right now. You have pushed yourselves up above Seattle. Is this a team you're looking to get behind against the top team in the Central tonight?
I always look to bet the Oilers every game, but I think that this number is a little, it's fair, but it's getting to a point where I think that there's some value on Dallas, and if I were a betting man, I would say that Russ is going to be on the Stars. Right, so the Oilers, they're playing well offensively right now, and even though their defensive metrics haven't been too bad, again, they're not getting the consistent goaltending. I also think that there's a chance that we get Campbell which of course is even further downgrade. There's no way that I'm laying 130 with Jack Campbell right now. So that throws the Oilers out. Meanwhile, Dallas, they're an over team right now, and as they're and we've talked about this. Their goals output, it's starting to catch up with where it should be. But the problem is the market is seeing the same thing right now. We're headed towards we're headed towards a 7. If Campbell is in, we'll be right there at a 7. So for me, I'm gonna lay off. We're gonna cheer for the Oilers, but I can't get there on the Oilers tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're not too far off. I haven't made any plays yet, but I definitely have. I've got the stars circled here, and this is basically. I won't. I think it should be a little less, and like there's a plus 125 up there. I would absolutely love to play that if we get Campbell. I think that if we get Stuart Skinner here in goal against Ottinger, these numbers are fairly right. Again, just like so many said, I would look at the over. If we had like a 6.5 minus 120, I would look there, but it's gotten bet right into it. Should get up to 7. It'll probably end up there. Just to dig in these teams a little bit, this is a great matchup. Both these teams are super fun. I was hoping I would have a play on this game just so I could turn it on the iPad or on the second TV. But I don't think I will unless we do get Campbell in goal. Then I'll definitely be on the Stars. But yeah, this Dallas team has been playing very, very well recently. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, and all the way up to their 4th in expected goals for. And they've got 47 goals in their last 10 games. Just like you said, this Dallas team just turned on the offense. They're an over team. I think that Ottinger has dipped a little bit. His play has dipped a little since the beginning of the season. So that is factored into my numbers a little bit. And then on the other side, this Edmonton team is playing very well recently too. 8th in expected goals for and 8th in expected goals against. So honestly, these are two of my favorite teams to bet on going forward. And, now that they're facing each other, this is probably a stay away like we talked about a little bit before. But yeah, two of my favorite teams to watch. Look for that Jack Campbell announcement. If they do end up going to him, I'll absolutely play plus 115 or plus 120 on the Stars for sure. But for right now, there's no play for me.
Okay, fair enough. So money, you were close, but no play yet.
But definitely, in the right mindset for sure.
Right. Now, so money, talk to me about the Vancouver Canucks tonight. On the road in Mullet Arena, they are favored against the Coyotes. Do we trust the Canucks on the road as a favorite, minus 137 right now?
You gotta love the Canucks' drive towards no man's land in the standings here, eh?
It's their favorite spot.
They're gonna finish 11th, right?
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating, man. They're playing well right now. We've talked about them. Their defense is a lot better. Offense is starting to get better as well. JT Miller looks like a player again. And of course Kuzmenko is like unreal. So looking at the price though, it's tough for me to get there on the Canucks right now. I would need a low minus 130s. It's concerning there that Pinnacle's the best price in market right now. You never want to see that. I would lay off right now. I would need better on the Canucks. I can't get there on the Canucks in the high 130s, low 140s range.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add. The Canucks and their defense has been playing just like said, but this Coyotes team is just awesome at home. For some reason, they played in Mullet Arena. They've got one of the best records this year at home, and as far as units won or dollars won, they are the number one home team in the NHL, even above the Boston Bruins. So they just for some reason they just get up to play at this tiny arena, and the fans love it and the players just love playing there. So I don't know what's happening down in Arizona, but yeah, this is a stay away game for me. I think these numbers are about right.
Yeah, it's everyone getting all excited with the college kids in the arena. It's actually a decent atmosphere. There's energy in that place for the first time in like 15 years. So that's what's going on in down in Arizona right now at home. But Russ,
awesome.
you do have an interest in the next game here, the Calgary Vegas game. Calgary's kind of gotten themselves to a point where they're going to have a very difficult road to try to make the playoffs this year. And Vegas currently sitting in first in the Pacific, a few points up on the Los Angeles Kings, 8 points up on the Edmonton Oilers as it stands. Calgary not completely out as it is right now, 5 points out of a playoff spot. They could find themselves in there, but you're looking at a line tonight where you got Vegas minus 105 at home against Calgary, and best price on Calgary right now plus 100 if you look around, but you're looking to support the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Why is that?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I think this should be one of the best games of the night. Basically, one of the most unlucky teams in the NHL versus one of the most lucky teams in the Knights. This Flames team is just, I have no idea what the deal is with this Flames team. They are playing well. They're driving play. They have pretty good defense, a decent goaltender, but they just don't win. They can't win. Honestly, it's very, very perplexing. And then on the flip side, this Vegas team has been playing very well since the new year. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games, and all the way up to 20 or 15th or 10th in expected goals for. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think that this number is a little bit short on Vegas. I'm gonna actually wait to confirm the goalie here, just because there's so many different things in the air and things that play for the Knights. I've talked about my disdain for Jonathan Quick on this show before a couple times. And then he kind of, he comes back and pitches a shutout like the next game after I say that, that's kind of how it works. But I think this line is a little bit short on the Knights, and they're still kind of pricing the Flames as they were at the beginning of the season, where it seems like this team is just quite unlucky and kind of knows that they're out of the playoffs right now. It seems like, they just are very uninspired, playing very uninspired hockey, where the Knights have been playing really well. So I'm going to wait on the goalie here. And we got so many plays confirmed that I'm not ready to lock in anything here yet, but I'll be looking at the Knights, depending on if we get Aiden Hill back or if it's Quick. I'm not, still kind of debating there.
Okay.
Yeah, and just when I thought that Markstrom was might be turning it around, he's back to his poor form. So like Russ said, these are a couple of teams. It's tough to get a handle on right now.
Yeah.
Quick, I don't know where this resurgence has come from, but credit to him. So I'll be laying off this game. Vegas has their morning skate at 11 Pacific time, so we'll get a better idea about what Vegas is doing in terms of personnel. But I agree with Russ. I think that Calgary, it's tough to make a case for them. I would like to bet Vegas going forward. I think that they are undervalued, and unfortunately for me, I think that they'll probably take that division at this point. So, but for this game here, I think that I'll be laying off.
Yeah, that resurgence in Quick's game came when he got to Vegas and they pulled the knife back out of his back that the LA Kings put in there. It was the inverse situation of the Fleury one, where Fleury had it in Vegas and then Vegas was the one who takes it out of Quick there. But 2 more games on the schedule tonight. We'll go through these if there are any plays. Seattle on the road taking on the San Jose Sharks. Seattle, you're looking at them right now down to minus 165 as a favorite against San Jose. Russ, would you have any interest in this game at all from a sides or totals perspective?
Not necessarily. I think this number is pretty close to spot on. This San Jose team has pretty much given up on the season. It does depend a little bit if we get Kaapo Kähkönen or James Reimer. For me, a little bit. If they played Kaapo Kähkönen, I think you could go with Seattle in regulation, probably have a pretty fair bet. But no, I think minus 170 and 6.5 is a perfectly fair line. And I honestly, I don't see any value on this one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way. These are a couple of over teams right now, but it's already been bet into place. So if for some reason that 6.5 dips, I would be on the over, but not right now.
And final game of the night, we're looking at the Columbus Blue Jackets, the LA Kings, the team that did put the knife or the sword in the back of Jonathan Quick there in the LA Kings. At home tonight against Columbus, we're looking at another long price between these two teams. So, Money, would this long price on Columbus intrigue you at all? Is this yet another all right, stay away, LA is playing well, they are deserving of this number? Kind of how do you break that down, where the market has set this one right now?
So we cheer for the Blue Jackets, but there's no way that I'm betting anything on this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, similar boat. I think 275, 280 is a little bit long. It probably should be closer to 250. But yeah, who knows that this Blue Jackets team is so hard to call, and honestly, I was hoping that the Kings would start Korpisalo here, but it looks like they're going with Phoenix Copley. So no play for me. It should be Kings should get a win, but it seems like a little bit long price, but no play.
All right, fair enough. Well, that'll do it for the plays here today. If you do want to know what we bet, I'll pull up the screen right now and run through them again. So recap of today's bets, we're looking at the New Jersey Devils money line minus 128 tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're looking at the over 6.5 minus 122 between Colorado and Ottawa, as well as the over 6.5 between the Pittsburgh Penguins and New York Rangers minus 105, and then yet another overplay, over 6 minus 109 between Boston and Winnipeg. So plenty of overs on the board here tonight. Plenty of we're looking for a lot of fun games, a lot of scoring in tonight's games, but that's where we're at. If you want to track all the plays that we've given out on the show throughout the course of this season, make sure to head over to the BetStamp app. You can find it in iOS and Android, as well as on the web. You can sign up there, find us in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, see how we've done throughout the course of the season. Make sure to give us a follow on there, and as well, make sure to subscribe here to the Edgework HQ YouTube channel and like this stream. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure to give it a like. But so Money, Russ, thank you guys for taking the time to do this. Look forward to talking to you guys again next week. And for everyone in the chat right now, I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning for the final show of the week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Good luck on your bets tonight. Enjoy the games, and as well, enjoy March Madness.